Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to another episode of our series where we explore the hidden and forgotten history of the world through an examination of ancient biblical lands. Today, we are going to be traveling all the way to Africa and specifically to Ethiopia. Now, if you're like me then, before this series, you probably didn't know much about Ethiopia other than that it is home to some pretty amazing wildlife, and of course, the capital city Addis Ababa is home to the headquarters of the African Union. What many people don't realize is that Ethiopia has a lot more in common with the nation of Israel than most people would think. This is because Ethiopia is home to one of the oldest surviving Jewish communities on Earth dating back thousands of years. In fact, many believe that not only were these Ethiopian Jews descended from the ancient Israelites, but that they may very well be the true Israelites who have retained the true identity of the lost tribes of Israel. So today, we are going to explore these claims and uncover the hidden Hebrew roots of Ethiopia. But a quick reminder before we get into it. Every week we bring you new videos on ancient biblical lands. If you enjoy what you see, then please consider supporting us so that we can keep bringing awesome content like this to you every week. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. Alright, so let's dive right into the hidden history of Ethiopia. The ancient origins of Ethiopia can be traced back thousands of years, and its history is deeply intertwined with the history of the nation of Israel. This is because the ancient kingdom of Ethiopia was known by a different name, Cush. In the Bible, the land of Cush is mentioned several times, and it is described as being located in the southern region of Egypt along the river Nile. Genesis chapter 10. Verse 6 and 7 tells us that Nimrod, the grandson of Ham, the son of Noah, became a mighty hunter before the Lord. He went to the land of Shinar and settled in the city of Babel. But later he rebelled against the divine order and was killed by the Lord, and his wife Naamah gave birth to 3 sons, Cush, Canaan, and Mizraim. From this account, it is clear that Cush was the ancestor of the Ethiopian people. And when we look at other ancient texts outside of the Bible, we see that there was indeed a powerful kingdom located in southern Egypt during the time of ancient Israel. The kingdom of Cush flourished between the 8th century BC and the 4th century BC, and it was known for its wealth, power, and influence. The Cushite kings ruled over a vast empire that stretched from the Egyptian border in the north to the Indian Ocean in the east. The kingdom was situated between 2 rivers, the Atbara and the Nile, and had fertile soil which made it perfect for growing crops such as wheat, barley, millet, and cotton. This allowed the kingdom to grow quickly and become prosperous. Additionally, the kingdom of Cush controlled important trade routes between Egypt and the rest of Africa, which brought in even more wealth and resources to the kingdom. With all of this wealth and prosperity, the kings of Cush were able to build impressive monuments and infrastructure projects such as temples, pyramids, and a network of roads and irrigation systems. They also had a strong military, which allowed them to defend their borders and expand their empire. During its peak, the kingdom of Cush was ruled by a series of powerful female rulers known as Queens of Sheba. The most famous of these was Queen of Sheba, who is mentioned in the Bible for her wisdom and wealth. According to the Bible, she visited King Solomon in Jerusalem to test his wisdom and was so impressed by his knowledge that she became a convert to Judaism. This meeting between Queen of Sheba and King Solomon is said to have taken place around 970 BC. As we can see, the ancient kingdom of Cush was a powerful and influential force in the ancient world. However, like many other kingdoms, it eventually declined. The decline of the kingdom of Cush began in the 4th century BC when the Assyrians invaded and conquered the northern part of the kingdom. This was followed by the rise of the Aksumite Empire in the 4th century AD, which gradually absorbed the remaining territories of the kingdom of Cush. Despite the end of the kingdom, the Cushite people continued to live in the region, and their culture and traditions survived for centuries. Fast forward to the modern day, and the descendants of the ancient Kushite people still live in Ethiopia and Eritrea. They have retained much of their cultural and religious traditions, including their unique language, music, and art. Many of them are members of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which is one of the oldest churches in the world. The church played a significant role in preserving the cultural and religious heritage of the Kushite people throughout history. The claim that Africans are the true Israelites is based on several pieces of evidence. One of the most significant pieces of evidence is the genetic evidence, which suggests that there is a close genetic relationship between the people of Ethiopia and the ancient Israelites. A study conducted by the National Human Genome Research Institute in the United States found that the Ethiopian population has a higher percentage of the genetic marker, known as haplogroup P1B1B1A2 than any other population. Haplogroup P1B1B1A2 is believed to have originated in Ethiopia and is found in high frequencies in other populations that are believed to be descended from the ancient Israelites, such as the Samaritans and the Yemenite Jews. This genetic evidence suggests that the Ethiopian Jews may have a direct genetic link to the ancient Israelites. Another piece of evidence that supports the claim that Africans are the true Israelites is the linguistic evidence. The ancient language of Ethiopia, Ge'ez, is believed to be related to the ancient Hebrew language. There are similarities between the two languages, and scholars believe that they may have a common ancestor. Additionally, the Ethiopian Jews have kept their ancestral language, Amharic, which is also believed to be related to Hebrew. These linguistic similarities suggest that the Ethiopian Jews may have retained their ancestral language, which could provide further evidence of their connection to the ancient Israelites. However, the strongest piece of evidence that supports the claim that Africans are the true Israelites is the archaeological evidence. In recent years, several archaeological discoveries have been made in Ethiopia that suggest a connection between the country and the ancient Israelites. One of the most significant discoveries was made in the city of Aksum, where archaeologists found a monolithic stele inscribed with ancient Hebrew. The stele dates back to the 4th century AD and was erected by King Ezana of Aksum, who is believed to have been the first king to unite Ethiopia and Christianity. The inscription on the stele provides further evidence of the historical connections between Ethiopia and the ancient Israelites. In addition to this discovery, archaeologists have also found a number of artifacts in Ethiopia that date back to the time of the ancient Israelites. These artifacts include pottery, tools, and weapons that have been dated to the 10th century BC, which is the time period when the Kingdom of Israel was in existence. These discoveries suggest that there was a significant amount of cultural exchange between Ethiopia and the ancient Israelites during this time period. It should be noted that while there is evidence to support the claim that Africans are the true Israelites, this claim is not widely accepted by mainstream historians or geneticists. However, it is an intriguing theory that has gained some attention in recent years. Whether or not there is a genetic link between the people of Ethiopia and the ancient Israelites, there is no doubt that Ethiopia has a rich and fascinating history that is worth exploring. The country is home to some of the oldest archaeological sites in the world, and its people have preserved their cultural and religious traditions for thousands of years. As we continue to learn more about the history of Ethiopia, we may uncover even more evidence of the country's ancient past and its connections to the ancient Israelites. And thank you to all of our supporters who make these videos possible. Be sure to tune in next week for another exciting episode where we will be exploring more of the lost history of the ancient world. Until then, stay curious and keep learning.